Somebody with basic education will review cost-benefit analysis. If we make this move, what are the benefits? What are the costs? That's cost-benefit analysis.
All right. Engineer
So
Novo.
that is very clear.
Okay.
Education is helpful. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Jagaban Tinubu, by his own record in INEC on his form, has no basic education and is a blind guide. And the results have confirmed that he's a blind guide. He has guided the country from the largest economy in Africa to number 5.
Okay.
He has guided the country from 477 naira to $1 to 1,500 and something in an import-dependent economy. He does not know what he's doing. Mr. Shegushoumi has said that before. Dr. Pias has said that before. Adetukumbo Pias. It is clear he doesn't know what he's doing.
No,
and the results show that he doesn't know what he's doing.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Before allowing you guys to listen to that powerful and insightful interview from Chief Enovo, there is this particular trending news that Peter Obi sued Deji over defamation, and people have been saying like a lot of things, and some people are saying that this is kind of a distraction, that Peter Obi should leave Deji alone and focus on 2027 election. For instance, this person said, Akim, that the lawsuit against Deji is ill-advised and needless distraction. I will urge PO team to withdraw it and focus on bigger issues. And people are saying that, what are you even saying? Do you know that since 2022, that Deji has been saying like a lot of ugly things, like allegations, lies against Peter Obi. So now Peter Obi has taken action and people are kind of blaming him. Look at what Deji said in 2024 against Peter Obi. He said that Peter Obi is the corrupt religious bigot who took $12 million of Anambra State money and put it in his family business. Is a fraud. Let him sue me if he is not. He called Peter Obi fraud. He called him religious bigot. He claimed that Peter Obi embezzled Anambra's money, and then he accused Peter Obi of trying to bribe him. Despite all this accusation, Peter Obi just overlooked him. Peter Obi did not even say anything. Now, they just challenge him to sue him if what he is saying about him is not true. And now, Peter Obi has finally sued Deji, and now Deji is calling him dictator, saying that how can somebody like Peter Obi become Nigeria president, which means people will not have freedom of speech anymore. Let's look at some of the reactions from Nigerians. This person said, if they accuse you of stealing $12 million with an insurance of proof, will you withdraw your case? So this is what Nigerians are asking this particular Akim, who said that Peter Obi should withdraw that case, that this is just a distraction, right? And another person said, Akim, which one is lawsuit again? No case had been filed. Obi's lawyer simply wrote Deji and requested that he retract the defamatory actions, or that a case could be instituted against him after 7 days. It now left for Deji to act as requested or have his day in court. I know he could arrogantly stand his ground, and when he does, he should gather all the evidences and prove his allegations in law court. There is a clear-cut difference between insult, criticism, and one declaring that another offered him a bribe. That accusation touches on the very core of what makes Peter Obi what he is today. And another person said, this guy, he is referring to the Akim, who said that Peter Obi needs to withdraw the case, right? He said that someone started defaming a politician as far as back as 2022, dropping false claims and allegations here and there. The aggrieved party is now seeking justice in court, and you are urging him to withdraw and focus on a bigger issue. Which bigger issue surpasses character assassination? And another person said, someone has to be called to order. If Peter Obi doesn't challenge him to retract, Sam Deji could claim it is because Peter Obi knows he is right and guilty. That is why he wasn't sued. He called for the attention and he has just got it. If he thinks he can't retract his post, then he should go to court and prove his point. It may not be a big issue to you, but it is to Obi, and he wrote to him to withdraw all he said. if he refuses, then he will get whatever he was looking for, and then no one should cry foul. Honestly, what surprises me is that Peter Obi no be Nigeria president o. Peter Obi no get any position for this Tinubu government. Peter Obi no be minister o. But these people don't want Peter Obi to breathe. Like if Peter Obi waka like this, they go talk. If Peter Obi do like this, they go talk. They even leave Tinubu that are putting Nigeria in a state that we don't even know. Like Nigerians are even confused. There is hunger everywhere, insecurity. These people supposed to be tackling Tinubu, telling him what to do and what not to do. But rather, it's Peter Obi, just because Peter Obi came out in 2022 to contest for presidential election in Nigeria. That is only his offense. So these people carry all kinds of allegations, lies against Peter Obi. My people, I don't know what you think. Do you think that Peter Obi should withdraw this case? Or do you think that Peter Obi is in the right path? I would love you guys to leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let me allow you guys to watch this powerful and insightful interview concerning Nigeria and 2027 election, especially if Peter Obi will be returning to PDP or not. Take a listen. Do well to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you so much for doing so.
Last, and then touch on other issues around the state of the nation and how those issues affect contemporary Nigerian politics. Now, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in their 102nd National Executive Committee meeting, resolved to zone its 2027 presidential ticket to the south, paving the way for Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde and other southerners to challenge President Bola Tinubu in the next general election. Well, the party's NEC also upheld the current National Working Committee zoning formula for the November elective convention in Ibadan, Oyo State, and confirmed Omar Damagum as the substantive national chairman up until November 15th, when the elective national convention will hold. Meanwhile, loyalists of the 2023 Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi, including Obedient Movement National Coordinator Tanko Yunusa, said that the former Anambra State governor needs more time to reflect before deciding on his next political move. But reacting to the zoning arrangement, the All Progressives Congress Director of Publicity, Bala Ibrahim, said the PDP is destined for defeat in 2027, no matter who it feels as a presidential candidate or the region he represents. Now, meanwhile, Nigeria's socioeconomic, political, and economic growth, development, and progress have been a subject of discourse since independence, but has gained more spotlight since the return to the Fourth Republic in 1999 due to likely decline, albeit visible fluctuation in the standard of living, especially from 2015, when the All Progressives Congress took over office. While many on the side of the government believe and support the claim that the economic policies of the present administration are making steady improvements amid concerns of stability, others believe that Nigerian economy has taken a precipitous decline, with many captured forcefully within the acute poverty net. Well, Engineer Onovo is one Nigerian whom we believe understands the direction things are going. So let's hear from him directly. Engineer Martins Onovo, let's get into it. I know that you don't belong to the PDP, but if I'm correct, the last I heard of you, you were a member of the National Conscience Party. But let's tap into your wealth of political wisdom. The PDP yesterday released its zoning arrangement and brought it down to the south. Who do you think is likely to take the ticket? Obi, Jonathan, Makinde, or Wike? What do you know? What more should we know? What do you understand about the political permutations within the PDP? Let us into all of that, sir.
I think the PDP is right, because if we remember how the rotational principle started, it started with G34, which was the core group that formed the PDP. And I believe in the rotational principle because it is necessary for non-discrimination, for national cohesion, for national unity, for synergy in action. The Constitution of Nigeria forbids discrimination. And the PDP even put it in their constitution that they will rotate power between the north and the south. That makes sense. I think that the majority of the country agrees with it. APC did not put it in their constitution, but we understand that the APC agreed on it from their leading members. And also, this is directly connected to the federal character principle of the Nigerian Constitution, because the federal character principle requires that all parts of the country are represented. So if all the parts of the country need to be represented, then all parts also need to be represented in the presidency. And for political parties, INEC requires that your national ESCO reflect the diversity of the country. So this is actually a national standard. And even though it's only the PDP that has it in their constitution, this is agreed across the country. So rotation is justified. Rotation may not be explicit in the Constitution, but it is implicit in federal character. Rotation is commonsensical. Rotation is in synergy with the requirement of the Constitution that forbids discrimination. So I think that the PDP only reaffirmed their Constitution by zoning it to the South because it's the turn of the South. And don't forget that people like Ahmed Lawan, who aspired in APC for presidency from the North, may have lost it because of that same rotational principle. So rotation is clear. I don't think it should be challenged. I don't think it should be argued. And I'm happy that the PDP has affirmed it, even though I'm not their member and I cannot speak for them. But I think it is consistent with our national direction, national unity, and national development. Thank you very much.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Martin. I appreciate that for the fact that you are not a member of the PDP. But like I said, let's tap into your political wisdom. And you have walked us through what you understand to be the basic principles of rotation, fairness, and equity in distribution of political offices in Nigeria. Now, there's this rumor that President Goodluck Jonathan is likely to step into the fray, and the North has been making this push, to remove the current president from office because, according to them, the North has been sidelined, the North has been short-changed, and they are not comfortable with that. But they are not quick in saying power should come back to the North. So they are looking for somebody, a convenient person in the South, and they see in Jonathan somebody who has a terminal presidency because of the fact that if he contests by 27 and he terminates by 31, that's final for him. Given the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution, he cannot be sworn in more than twice into office. Now, between Obi and Jonathan, Makinde and Wike, because a lot of people are also saying, look, Wike is likely playing a card that he too wants to be president. Between these four people, I go back to that issue of having to tap, from your political wisdom because you have played there and you understand more than a lot of us. So I would like for you to help us, to educate us. Who do you think, by all permutations, who do you think is likely to claim the ticket from the PDP, assuming these four people step into the fray?
Well, I was going to disagree with you until you made your last sentence because I am aware that as of today, there are about 20 registered political parties. And they have not told you that they're not presenting candidates. So I think the discussion is early. But since you have said, assume this four, I think Wike is out because Wike is an acolyte. So you can't talk about Wike. I think he's out. Dr. Jonathan, we are not sure whether he's legally qualified or not. Because there is the argument that he has been sworn in twice. Do I agree with that argument? No. Do I think he's qualified? Yes. But I cannot pretend that the argument does not exist because he may have to end up in court. So that's for Dr. Jonathan. Well, Peter Obi is a member of the Labour Party. Why do you want to involve him in the PDP discussion?
Okay, yes. I'm happy you have brought us to this point because there are rumors that Peter Obi is likely to return to the PDP. Do you see that possibility?
Why do you want to deal in rumors? There are rumors that he will be the ADC candidate.
Okay. So no, Martin, it's not a matter of dealing in rumors.
Why do you want to deal in rumors?
No, it's not a matter of dealing in rumors. Rumor mills have it. And because in politics, there are lots of intrigues. There are a lot of complexities, complications. It is difficult for one to put his finger on something and say, this is how it is going to stay. You are a politician. So
you are now agree.
Okay.
You are now agree why I told you that it is too early. But
No, Martin. No, I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you when you say it is too early. We just said, in politics, they said that 24 hours is a long time for things to change. Wike said, me, work with an AP, become a minister in an APC government. Do you leave malaria and go to cancer? Where is Wike today? Wike is serving in an APC government. Excuse me, Martin.
To his personal integrity,
exactly.
not political.
Exactly the point. Exactly the point. It's the word of politicians. Peter Obi said, if I leave ABGA over my dead body, what happened? He left ABGA. He left PDP as well. So now there are rumors. Jerry Ghana says, you are our best bet. Alimodu Sharif said, you are our best bet. And Satanko said, look, we are still contemplating, we are considering the possibility of a Peter Obi going back to PDP. Now, as a politician, I ask you, if you understand the way Nigerian politics play out, is there a possibility that Peter Obi could return to the PDP? Because the rumors...
Oh, definitely. I think that we must respect Tanko.
Okay.
We must respect Tanko. Tanko was the national chairman of NCP and the chairman of IPAC when I ran for president.
Okay.
So he was the chairman of all the national chairmen in the whole country. Tanko has been in politics for a long time. it's a possibility, and I think everything he said is right, in the sense that Peter Obi must look at his chances. If he's a politician that I think he is. He looked at his chances in 2023 in PDP, saw that it was not favorable. He moved to Labour Party. He secured the ticket, he ran the election. I know for a fact that he won the election. Anybody who disputes it should bring the polling unit results. Simple. No need for grammar and argument. Unless you're saying that they don't exist. They do exist. Bring them. We know who won the election. I think he won the election clearly, with a very wide margin. And he was denied. And that shows his political sagacity. But you know, in this politics, there are many things you can control. There are many things you cannot control. So, and secondly, some politicians watch what other politicians do before they make their moves. So I think Tanko is completely right. They need to weigh all their options, which publicly today are Labour Party, PDP, and ADC.
Okay.
They may have other options. I cannot speak for them.
Okay.
But like, I agree with Tanko. That's the summary. I agree with Tanko.
All right.
They should weigh all their options.
Okay, so we might see Peter Obi coming into PDP in the coming days and in the coming weeks. Now, Mr. Onovo, Chief Onovo, in the course of your intervention, you said something that is quite weighty, that it is very clear, without contention, without dispute, without contestations, that Peter Obi won the 2023 election. That's very weighty. You know, we have a Supreme Court that upheld
forget about all that, because that's what the journalists say all the time.
What else should we say? I mean,
exactly. Thank you. God will bless you. I like that question. I think that the Supreme Court cannot alter facts. The Supreme Court may dwell on technicalities. The Supreme Court itself has not shown credibility. If we don't admit the problem, we will never solve it. I challenge you. Go and look at the valedictory speech of Justice Mohammed Datijo, Justice of the Supreme Court, who was also deputy chairman of the National Judicial Commission, which is the second highest judge in the whole country. The number 2. Go and look at that. To quote him, one of the things he said is that the judiciary has become something else. Now, that is the judiciary you're talking about, and you're telling me there is a judgment. I'm not saying there is no judgment. I'm saying that the judgment is clearly erroneous. A judgment that denied the Electoral Act. A judgment that denied BVAS and IREV. What kind of a judgment is that? And that same Supreme Court has a very bad reputation. Now, recently, Chief Dr. Obasanjo, former president, GCFR, PhD, FNSE, called the courts of corruption. So, if Chief Dr. Obasanjo, who is the most outstanding African statesman and the second highest judge in the country, tell you something about the judiciary, is it the media that will change it? Are you aware of the survey that was done by both local NGOs and international institutions on public confidence in the judiciary? Over 72% of respondents say they have no confidence in the judiciary. Now, talking about the presidential election, are you minded to accept a judgment written on the letterheaded paper of the legal team of the ruling party? So the facts are very clear. Nobody can deny them. Then if you go to the votes, are you not aware that the ruling party lost in Aso Rock, lost in Federal Capital, did not even get 25% in Federal Capital, lost woefully in Lagos, lost in Osun? So are you not aware that the IREV was switched off? Why do you think that the ruling party and INEC will switch off IREV if they are winning an election? So it's clear. Don't tell me what the Supreme Court say. The Supreme Court cannot rule against facts. Facts are sacred. And the Supreme Court must respect facts. And I can tell you there's a Supreme Court judgment that said that Supreme Court is not infallible. So we need to be clear that the Supreme Court gave a judgment doesn't mean it's right.
Okay.
That is the same Supreme Court that made Ahmed Lawan a senator today when Ahmed Lawan did not contest Senate primaries. So why are you minded to accept that Supreme Court and give it credibility?
Exactly the point. So now Martin, I also like the fact that you brought us to this level and you have raised another talking point. So what should the citizens do in the event that your position states clearly like, look, the Supreme Court didn't state facts. But unfortunately, it's a terminal
final court.
It's the final court. It's a final court. So is there anything that Nigerians can do to reverse the trend? Any
definitely now. Definitely.
Which is what?
Definitely. Excuse me, sir, please. Okay. Both legally and politically.
Okay.
Let's talk about constitutionally first, which is legally.
Okay.
The people are the sovereign. Yes. Power belongs to the people. I'm quoting Nigerian Constitution. The people are the sovereign. The Nigerian people can disband the Supreme Court and reconstitute it. We are the sovereign. Don't make any mistakes about it.
How can we do that, sir?
Politically.
How?
Politically, in many ways.
Okay.
There's no particular. Politically means, for example, if we are able to get the National Assembly to make that move, that's one way.
Which National Assembly?
Oh, no, it's not the only way. Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
I'm telling you the easiest way.
Okay. Okay.
Now, if we are able to get the National Assembly to do that, if we are able to get an executive bill, if we're able to get a private citizen bill and get it to pass, that's one way. The second way is mass protest. The third way is revolution. So there are many ways. But this is not about imposition. It's about, do we have a consensus to do that? Once you have a consensus, the power of the people is superior to the people in power. Get that very clear.
Okay.
There's no question about that.
All right. All right.
And don't forget that recently, just in the Buhari's tenure, the chief judge was removed, even though I think he was removed unfairly and unlawfully. So don't make it look like it's impossible. That's a recent example.
No, I understand all of this. I just wanted to hear from you.
It's a recent example.
And I asked you prescriptions, and you have laid out 3 prescriptions.
No, there are many ways. There's no particular way.
One is going through the National Assembly. Another one is going through protest, to hold the leaders to account. And another one is about a revolution. And I just hope that you are talking about a revolution of the mind, because we don't advocate for violence in this our station.
I belong to the philosophy of no violence.
No, exactly the point. So I'm happy that we are.
Philosophy,
okay.
You can do a revolution without violence.
Okay, I'm happy that we are on the same page. I'm happy that we're on the same. Now our time is fast spent, and we have a lot of grounds to cover. So let's move on. We've talked a bit about democracy and all of that. Now I've listened to you recently. I want us to talk about economy. I listened to one of your interviews where you said that the current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is not qualified to rule Nigeria due to lack of basic educational qualification. The footage we played, I'm sure that you watched it, where you said in another television station, where you said when he filled his INEC from primary education, nil, secondary, nil. Let's marry that with what the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, said about Tinubu's policies that shrank the economy. That report was released yesterday. And I said, look, Nigeria's economy is in utter decline. It shrank because of the economic policies of the president, especially the exchange rate unification, which has left the exchange rates hovering between 1,500 and 1,600, which looks like some stability anyway, some economists will argue, because it has hovered within that range for like 6 months, 8 months, or thereabout. Now, could this lack of education, according to you, be a valid explanation for the nosedive, for the economic decline and all of that? What's your reaction to that?
Well, that's only one dimension. What has happened to Nigeria is not a single factor phenomenon.
Okay.
And I think that the media is underestimating what has happened to Nigeria. I think that Chief Dr. Obasanjo captured it excellently at Yale University when he said the country is near collapse. I don't think that the Nigerian mass media realizes that this country is near collapse. I think that the mass media thinks it's an exaggeration. And I do not agree. Maybe they are right. But I tell you what, the 2 principal criteria for measuring economic development are GDP and GDP per capita. Now, Nigeria had the largest GDP in Africa before this ruling party came to power. Today we are number 5. So, what other dimension or measurement, empirical data do you want to use to confirm that the ruling party has been destructive to the economy of Nigeria? This completely ruinous. Now, the second most important factor is GDP per capita. As of today in Africa, Nigeria is number 40 something in GDP per capita. So if you're talking about prosperity in Africa, not in the world, in Africa of 50 something countries, we are 40 something. This is Nigeria, the giant of Africa. So I think that the data is clear. Even if you use government data, which is tweaked, even if you use government data, which is tweaked, the data is clear. Now, before the ruling party came to power, Nigerian total public debt was 12.1 trillion. That was in 2015. In 2023, it was 77 trillion. Today, it is about 150 trillion. How do you yourself, as a journalist, you and your children, how are you planning to pay this 150 trillion? Are you even able to service it? Have you seen the prediction that in 2026, Nigeria will be in a full-blown debt crisis? Have you seen that? So the situation is very bad, but the media, to me, is not highlighting the situation as bad as it is. Even after...
I'm sorry, Engineer Novo. I don't know what else you want the media to do. You and I are holding a conversation here, and people are watching us. People are agreeing, so it's our own to put out information there for the public to make their judgment. Now, my question will be, do you think that the economic decline has anything to do with the educational qualification of the two people that ruled in the past 10 years? We had issues with General Muhammad Buhari, who, for the 8 years he ruled, was unable to provide his school certificate. Now, we got into it. So is that a nexus? Is that a nexus between...
I've answered the question.
Okay.
I've answered the question. I will repeat my answer, and I will emphasize on it.
Okay, beautiful.
I suspect that you send your own children to school. I do send my own children to school.
I do.
My father sent me to school.
Okay.
And I know the advantage of education. And even if I don't know, I know the advantage of education. And even if I don't know, the global data shows that the more educated countries are more prosperous. That's very clear. Even from a religious point of view, education is power. The Bible says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. Take it from me with full authority. Jagaban Tinubu is a blind guide. Blind guide. He guided Nigeria to a reckless subsidy is gone. Very reckless. On the day he was sworn in, he guided Nigeria to floating the naira. Very reckless. Let us talk about his subsidy is gone. He had not constituted an economic team. He had not constituted a federal executive council. He doesn't have the basic education. And he made that decision, apparently, unilaterally, since he had no team in place. That is reckless. Somebody with basic education will be a little bit more cautious.
Circumspect, yes.
Somebody with basic education will review cost-benefit analysis. If we make this move, what are the benefits? What are the costs? That's cost-benefit analysis.
All right. Engineer Novo.
That is very clear.
Okay.
Education is helpful. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Jagaban Tinubu, by his own record in INEC on his form, has no basic education and is a blind guide. And the results have confirmed that he's a blind guide. He has guided the country from the largest economy in Africa to number 5.
Okay.
He has guided the country from 477 naira to $1 to 1,500 and something in an import-dependent economy. He does not know what he's doing. Mr. Shegun has said that before. Dr. Pias has said that before. It is clear he doesn't know what he's doing.
No,
and the results show that he doesn't know what he's doing.
In all of this, I will get to a point where you have to tell us, what you have done differently. If you had won the presidential election when you contested.
Follow our campaign. We said what we're going to do.
Okay, now you have the opportunity to tell us again what you have done.
Now.
No, what you have done. No, there's a question I want to ask, because when you said that the current president has ruined this economy, maybe because
Clearly, what does the data say?
Because of his lack of education. We have our own dear sister, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who is the Director General of the World Trade Organization, former Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Harvard trained economist, who 2 weeks ago said The current president has stabilized his economy. So
is that the argument?
No, that's no. I want us to interrogate all of that.
Hold on. I listened to her.
Okay.
She said it is time to grow the economy. Don't forget that she's a diplomat. If you interpret her properly, it's telling you that the economy is not growing, which is why it moved from number 1 in Africa to number 5. You have to read between the lines. She was speaking in the State House. She had gone to pay a visit to Jagaba and Tinubu. Jagaba and Tinubu supported her to the position you say she belongs to. That's clear. So, she's obligated to him. Jagaba and Tinubu supported her for her World Trade position. Now, she said she talked about poverty and the effects of the policies. What else did you want her to say? She was being nice. She was speaking in the State House to State House correspondents. Yes, it would be wrong to say that the economy is not relatively stable today, but it's stable at the bottom. Your son can be stable in 44 out of 44 in class. That's what she said. It's very clear. Listen to her again. She didn't say the economy is doing well.
Okay.
She said it's stable.
No, it's good that you have this opinion. It's good that you have this opinion.
Opinion is clear.
No, because we have a lot of people in the APC. We have a lot of the president's handlers trumpeting what Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala said. They said, look, somebody came from New York, from World Trade Organization. They quote IMF, they quote World Bank to say, look, the economy is doing well, the policies are good, the stability and all of that. So it is good to have your own perspective and interpretation.
My own perspective. That's what I told you. We must respect facts. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
I'm sorry, Martin, but you are the one putting it out there for the ordinary Nigerian to understand that the economy could be stable, but it is not growing, isn't it?
Let me put it out.
Okay.
In primary 1, if I came 44 out of 44, primary 2, I came 40 out of 40. Primary 5, I came 41 out of 41. I'm stable in my coming last in class. The key thing she said was the effects of the policies, the poverty, and shielding the people from it, which are things that anybody would have considered before making the policy. So she exposed the government as completely incompetent. That's what she did. But she had to do it in nice diplomatic language because she's a diplomat.
Okay, now I'd like for you to get my position. My position is that you have given us a different perspective because the people in government have been trumpeting what Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala said, that look, the economy is top notch, that they are doing very well. But you have brought another fresh perspective to this. So it is left for the average Nigerian to make their judgments. Now, I would like for us to move because...
So you can play her video.
Okay. No.
It is their job.
It is not about...
to make the government look good.
So it is your own job also to put out what you have just done. You know, so it is not in my place to take a position. We'll put it out there for Nigerians, intelligent Nigerians, to make their judgment. We are out of time and we have a lot of grounds to cover. Now, let's assume that you won the presidential election when you contested. Fuel subsidy was already a consensus issue then. Will you have removed fuel subsidy if you became president of Nigeria?
No.
At the point that you did?
No.
Why?
Please, no.
Okay.
Abacha did not remove it, so I'm not telling you anything strange. Buhari did not remove it. It doesn't make sense. And we need to be very careful because the level of illiteracy in this country, after considering that, you now consider the level of educated illiterates, according to Chimamanda. What is subsidy? Subsidy is when the difference when you are selling below cost recovery. That is the definition of subsidy. Now, they changed the definition of subsidy to when you're selling below market price. That's a false definition. That's a very false definition. And what is market price? They benchmark it with international market price, a local product. So you have already been technically defrauded. Was there a subsidy? That's the first thing. If there was a subsidy, what are the components of that subsidy? We were doing the wrong thing. We took a local product. We exported it to Europe. It was refined. We created employment in Europe. We bypassed our own 4 refineries that are local here, where our people are employed and idle. It is refined. We spend money and import it back. Then we want to sell it to our people at international market price. And we say that's a subsidy. Who owns the product? We own the product. You are a farmer. You go to your farm. You bring the 2 tubers of yam for your family. You said these 2 tubers of yam in the market, they cost 18,000. So, family, this is subsidy. You people, I will remove 18,000 from your school fees. That's exactly what the government is doing. That's fraudulent.
Okay. Now, Engineer Novo, I'd like for us to get facts straight. there was a certain subsidy, whether it was.
You are not in a position to tell me that. I have graduate studies in petroleum economics. Don't tell me that you are listening to IMF.
Excuse me, Martin. I want for you to listen to me. There was it's beautiful. There was a certain difference that was paid, whether it was intentionally contrived, whether it was altruistically contrived, to benefit a few people or to benefit the whole of Nigerians. There was something called fraudulent. Yes. Now you say it's fraudulent. Beautiful. I like the word. I like the fact that you also. Excuse me, Martin. I like the fact that you also brought in the word fraudulent. So it had been infested with corruption. Now, knowing that it had been infested with corruption, will you have continued with the corruption, or will you have fought the corruption, or what will you have done differently? That's exactly what Nigerians want to know.
The first thing, Nigerians will not understand the answer because I know where you're going.
Where?
You will not understand the answer if I don't tell you the basis of the answer.
Okay.
First, you should not have been importing. When did this importation start? About 30 years ago. You should not have been importing. Compare yourself with Libya under Gaddafi, if you want to understand what I'm talking about. Compare yourself with Venezuela. When I ran for president, we did the study. As at that time, equivalent, Venezuela was selling for less than 50 kobo per liter. Venezuela is oil producing like you. They refine. So, if you want to sell international price, for example, do you pay international salary? So the whole thing is a scam, but government has repeated a lie and the people believe the lie. Now, when you import, I see your argument, strong argument, but the foundation is not there. When you import at international price, that is when you now claim there is a subsidy. Okay. That's number one. But should you be importing? Have you removed the corruption element? Why did you build the refineries in the first place if you wanted them to be idle? How can you claim to be a competent government if you cannot run refineries?
Okay, so basically, Engineer Onovo, what I understand from your position is that there was no need for Nigeria to have started importing fuel in the first place.
Simple, that's the fundamental.
Beautiful. Now,
Ghana.
No.
Hold on. Ghana is refining.
Okay.
Niger Republic is refining. Nigeria cannot refine.
Why are we not refining?
Don't forget that I'm a petroleum engineer. Don't tell me that.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
No. So I think we arrived at a point that at the time we started importing, there was no need for us to start importing because we had refineries. And if we didn't have, the best viable option for us was to have built more. Like Dangote just built one about a year.
And I would have done what Abacha did.
Okay.
What did Abacha do? Abacha determined that the cost was about 6 naira at his time.
Okay.
Production cost. Abacha put it at 11 naira, which was not subsidy, was a tax. He put it at 11 naira and he said to make sure that this money is not dissipated, we'll give it to PTF.
Petroleum Trust Fund. Okay.
And he gave the difference to PTF.
All right.
And he recovered his cost.
Beautiful.
You can see the intelligence of Professor Sam Aluko, who was Abacha's chief economic advisor.
All right. Engineer Nova, we are almost out of time. And we have few
Don't worry. Let's deal with what issue.
No, beautiful. You have to come back here another day. So that we can expand all of this. Now, recently you talked about the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and said that the 47 kilometers that got 1.08 trillion naira should cost only 88 billion naira. How did you come up with that figure? I know that you are an engineer. Let us in. What more should we know?
There are many ways we do cost estimates in engineering. And I'll give you an idea. We can use previous recent projects and scale them. We can use bill of quantities and services and scale a project. In any method you use, there are many other methods. In any method you use, that road will cost you about 88 billion. For the 47 kilometers, so before they go and misrepresent it and distort what I say. These 47 kilometers that my brother Omahi is doing from VI to Ekpe, 47 kilometers for 1.06 trillion cannot cost 1.06 trillion. And I will give you benchmark projects. Dangote did the Ekpe section of the road to his refinery. It is the same 3 lanes. That's number one. Dangote did Apapa Isolo, concrete, just like the Ekpe section. It is the same 3 lanes. African Exim Bank is sponsoring the Trans-Saharan Highway of 1,000 kilometers. Go and look at the cost. African Development Bank has its costing as about $147,000 per kilometer. So if you multiply that, can we do the arithmetic now?
No, go ahead, sir. You go ahead.
So that is about $1 million per kilometer for 6 lanes. $1 million is 1.5 billion. 1.5 billion times 47. I'm using African Development Bank rates. 1.5 billion times 47. That's about 75 billion. So you can even see that I even added contingency cost. So if you use established African Development Bank estimates, you are less than 75 billion. That is the most corrupt contract I've seen in my career, my engineering career. I have never seen anything this corrupt. And it's also lawless. Okay. Don't forget, it's not just corrupt, it is lawless. Challenge me. As at the time they started the project, it was extra budgetary. Violation of Appropriation Act. The project did not go through competitive bid. Violation of Procurement Act. The project was awarded to High-Tech, owned by Chaguri, that Jagaban Tinubu in public called his partner with his own mouth. Conflict of interest, violation of oath of office. So it is lawlessness everywhere. I have called this government a maximum dictatorship.
Okay.
That's what I've called the government, and that is what it is.
Okay, that is what it is according to you.
Or not.
Okay, now that's your position, and it's very well noted. Now, Martin, we are out of time. Let's talk a bit about your political leanings. Now, you seem not to be active in politics anymore. What's cooking on your side? Are you a member of the coalition? Which party do you belong to? And can you just put together your concluding thoughts as you answer this question, because we are out of time?
That's not the issue, but I will answer you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
First thing is, I think it is wrong for Jagaban and Tinubu to have kickstarted politics too early.
Okay.
He started getting his endorsement before midterm. That is impeachable. He should have been impeached. And just to, before I continue, don't forget that Afenifere called for his impeachment over the Lagos Coastal Road. Afenifere called for his impeachment over the Lagos Coastal Road. So back to my politics. It is not right to say that I've not been active in politics. We endorsed the coalition of united political parties in 2019. Yes, we did. And in 2023, we supported the Labour Party candidate. And we delivered. He got it by a landslide. So it's not right to say that I've not been active in politics because I'm not running. Everybody cannot run.
Okay.
I think that to defeat an incumbent, you need all hands on deck.
No. When I said that you are not active in politics, I mean you have been more of a social activist, more than somebody who is identified with a clear political party. That's exactly what I mean. Not that you have lost your political consciousness. Well,
our political party was part of the coalition of united political parties. So okay. Why is that not acceptable?
Okay, beautiful. It's good to know that. Sorry, Martin. It's good to know that you're active in politics. Now, this would be a good place to anchor this conversation. And I must say, it's been very, very interesting, very incisive and insightful. And I hope that we can do this some other time and very soon, if you don't mind.
Well, I want to thank you for the opportunity because people like you who think we have not been active, you will see that we are still active.
Okay.
And this is our duty. This is our responsibility. It is the Germans that developed Germany. It is the Americans that developed Americans. It is Nigerians that will develop Nigeria. We can't fold our hands. This is our country. Okay. We want to leave a better country for our children. Otherwise, our children will have a right to curse us.
All right.
Welcome to Chamber Seniors TV. Come on,